The Bronx Borough President is expanding public safety initiatives by adding a mobile NYPD Command Unit and investing in more surveillance cameras to combat crime.
Public safety is a top priority, and we must do more to ensure that our residents and families are truly safe in our borough. Public safety is the cornerstone of our work, and every resident in our borough has a right to feel safe in their own neighborhoods.
Vanessa Gibson's delivered her State of the Borough speech earlier this month, and she is joining us this morning to give us more insight on when these enhanced security measures will actually go into effect. So good morning to you, Borough President.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
So let's talk about those targeted public safety investments and when exactly and where exactly they'll be rolled out.
So we have a good relationship with Patrol Borough Bronx, all 12 precincts. We work with Assistant Chief Ben Gurley, and we designated about $400,000 in FY25's budget last year to provide additional security cameras across the borough, as well as a mobile command unit, which is very popular. And we're going to work with NYPD on their own priorities and areas of need and concern based on obviously crime numbers, 311 complaints, and now in this budget, FY26, we're also going to continue working with NYPD and sanitation on illegal dumping and the purchase of additional cameras.
Can we ask you about this mobile command unit? How is that going to work? Is it going to travel throughout the borough, and how are they going to designate where it'll be?
Right. So the mobile command unit belongs to the borough, and working with all of our commanding officers and the Patrol Borough Bronx, they make determinations based on, large-scale events or areas of concern, patterns that they're looking at. It is a point of visibility. It's one of the white vans with blue letters, and you also have, uniformed cops that are stationed inside, and it really is to prevent crime. It's also visibility, and residents feel safer when they see the visible presence of police officers and or a mobile unit. We're also looking to purchase a second one as well. So we're going through the budget process with OMB to make the purchase for the department because we're getting ready for the spring and summer, and we know that these are needed safety measures for us.
Yeah, as the temperature gets warmer, that's where we always see the problems kind of percolate, right? I want to talk about Bally's Casino and the proposal there for Ferry Point Park, because residents are really opposed to it in certain areas. There was a raucous meeting about this, right? We're kind of see this play out in Queens too with the casino, but you have authority here and power when it comes to this casino as a borough president. So where do you stand on this? Do you want it?
So that's why I've allowed the process to play its course. When I met with the Bally's Corporation and learned about the proposal of $4 billion investment, and we talked about community benefits and a real investment, not just in Throgs Neck, but in the Bronx. They already have the golf course contract, as you know, to run Bally's at Ferry Point. They've been doing work across the borough with new relationships and partnerships. There's a shuttle service in the Throgs Neck community. Community Board 10, through their process, they did disapprove it. There is a lot of concern because of the scale, the size, the potential unintended consequences that people feel a project of this magnitude will bring. A casino, hotel, a 2,000-seat venue for events, parking, people, traffic, noise, pollution, right? I think a project of this magnitude is always going to have concerns and real issues. And a community like Throgs Neck that is growing, that is diverse, obviously people feel like this is a project they can't absorb. My public hearing through this process is on Wednesday, April 9th at Borough Hall at 4 p.m. and we're going to issue our recommendation later on in April.
So you're waiting to hear from that meeting?
Absolutely.
Because you have a say in whether it moves forward.
I do.
And so you're not going to say right now which way you're going?
Correct. I have to wait and get everyone's buy-in, and then I'll issue my recommendation.
Okay, because I would say it sounds like you're leaning in one direction a little
bit. A lot. I mean, it is a massive project. I do look across the borough when it comes to economic development, jobs, career opportunities, real pathways to the middle class. But I also understand the neighborhood, the community, the residents, the homeowners, property owners. And I think Bally's has a real opportunity to show us who they are by real investments. $625 million is a lot of money, one of the largest investments in our borough. So I don't want to underestimate the impact of that, but I also know that this is a project that is a large scale, and it really will have an impact on Throgs Neck, but the entire borough, in both good ways as well as challenges.
Okay, we wanted to talk about this. It's a little disturbing, these findings. Some data released by the New York City Health Department that shows that the Bronx has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the city. What is being done then to change those numbers?
So we've been working on this since I became borough president, and as a woman of color, it's very personal for me, my deputy borough president, and we have taken a real hard look at birth workers, doulas, and midwives, and the maternal mortality and morbidity crisis. 9.2 to times Black and Latino women more likely to die because of pregnancy-related complications. It's unacceptable. It's a call to action and attention. We want to create a Bronx-based birthing center. The first birthing center to open in New York City back in 1988 was in the Bronx, Childbearing Center of Morris Heights. It lasted for 20 years and then it closed, and now we just released our report on why a birthing center matters, and I'm very excited about that. We have a lot of momentum, a lot of just support. We are supporting birth workers and doulas and midwives on the ground. We have a center now, a reproductive health and wellness center called Miriam Clinic, and that's the beginning stages of building out a birthing center.
Okay,
right.
Keep us posted on that.
Yes, we will. Absolutely.
There.
Sure.
I want to talk about this because this is alarming too. 5 Catholic schools in the Bronx specifically slated to close, right? And that's just a number of schools across the 5 boroughs in the Catholic school system that are closing, right? Because of decreasing enrollment, higher costs. There's going to be a hearing about this. But what can be done for those families who are looking for that kind of education and now it's not going to be there?
It's heartbreaking. In my 3 years as borough president, we've lost at least a dozen Catholic schools. And this year, between Preston High School, St. Lucy's, All Hallows, Sacred Heart, it's one after the other. And I understand the Catholic diocese and what they're facing from enrollment and cost, financial aid, and really serving families. Catholic education is important. I say to families to try to find options for their children. As you know, we're trying to save Preston. The Attorney General is having a hearing next week on April 8th about that. I wish I could save all of our Catholic schools. I wish that we could provide opportunities to purchase the building, bring a non-for-profit in to run it, because Catholic education is important. And these are generations of families. The children, the grandchildren, everyone went to these schools. And so it's really important to keep that tradition alive. My hope is we can save Preston and try to identify other places and alternatives. What we're seeing now with some of our Catholic schools are there are partnerships with charter schools because they can bring the revenue in to help sustain the charter school. We're seeing that. And so that's an option, I understand. We don't want to see closures. We want to see options and alternatives. But we're working with every family that has called us and reached out. I think the momentum there is really for Preston High School to save it, all girls Catholic high school that really has had such a transformative impact on our borough.
Well, keep us posted on that.
Sure.
Bronx Week.
Bronx Week.
Just a little more than a month away from 11. It's a proud sponsor, and you are now accepting submissions for the People's Choice Award.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
People's Choice Award, 3rd year in a row, Arts and Education and Media. The deadline is April 4th. Visit ilovethebronx.com to provide your nomination. We have a committee of judges. We'll be announcing it later on in April, but it's from May 6th through May 18th. All things Bronx, the only borough that has its own opportunity to celebrate the Bronx, and we're very excited to once again bring Bronx Week back 2025.
Good, and we're happy to be a sponsor. So
Thank
great
you,
to have you here, Borough President. Good to see you as always. That was a lot of topics we covered today.
Yes.
All right, good stuff.
We didn't even get to the Yankees, though.
I know.
32 runs.
Yes, that's right. Boogie down Bronx. All right. Thanks so much for coming in again.